All right now.
Patrick Mahomes is basically God playing quarterback.
Chiefs Kingdom
Live!
They want it. They want it.
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper. And go get it.
That's a different tier right there, baby.
Yeah, we're not having a snowball fight.
He'll get handled when he gets handled.
The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection. Touchdown! Kansas City! One of the greatest duos in the history of the National Football League. Patrick Mahomes to Travis Kelce.
Do it live!
Let's go.
You gotta fight for your right to party!
Let's go.
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for joining us. If you would, real quick, before you forget, if you wouldn't mind, make sure you click and tap that like, and click or tap that subscribe button. Maybe tell a friend, tell a family member, tell some Chiefs fans, help spread the word. We'd sure appreciate that. We got an awesome show for everybody tonight. 0 to 100 things to talk about this week compared to the few of the last off-season shows. No shortage of topics. We're going to talk about the George Karlaftis deal. We're going to talk about training camp. Rashee Rice criminal stuff is settled, and he's looking at suspension. Not announced yet. We'll see what we think that looks like. Tyrann Mathieu retires. We'll talk about what we think his legacy is in the NFL and here in Kansas City. Anything you want to talk about, questions, comments, make sure you throw them up in there in the chat. We love to see you all every week. Before we get into it, fellas, how are you doing? It's good to have you back, Bo. I know you were in the thoughts and prayers, you and your family, of all the CKL friends and family last week.
No, cheers, guys. Yeah. Unfortunate, but it is what it is. Great to see you guys. Great to be back. It has begun. Cue the Mortal Kombat guy, right? It has begun. It's officially football season, man. I got my jerseys out. I got all my Chiefs gear out. I'm ready. Good to see you guys. How you guys doing? Nick, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Do you see there's like a Mortal Kombat 2 movie coming out?
I did. They're trying to make it serious.
I had to check because, dude, like sometimes I see movie trailers and I'm like, is that just like something somebody made with AI, or is that a real movie coming out? So I had to look it up. It's actually coming out. So I'm doing great, man. I'm excited for some football news. We've got training camp, right? That's happening, and I'm just ready to get into it.
Yeah. The guys are up there in St. Joe. The first Mortal Kombat movie, were you guys fans of that, Nick?
Yeah, it's classic, dude. I love that movie. I mean, I know it's like cheesy, right? 90s, but it's like that movie kicks ass. I'll watch that any day of the week.
Bo,
You're telling me a 90s kid likes a 90s cheesy action movie? Weird, man. That's so strange. Yeah, I was a fan. I was a fan of the whole Mortal Kombat franchise, video games.
Oh, man.
Mostly.
Dude, video games, it didn't get any better than Mortal Kombat, man. Like, I'm pretty sure it was the first game I played where there was like blood, and it was it kind of changed the game. Grand Theft Auto, another one, right, that comes to mind. Completely changed what video games could be. But yeah, I don't know. You gonna go see the new Mortal Kombat movie, Nick?
I might. I mean, and I'm gonna be pissed if they remember Mr. Toasty, the pop up in the little corner, like when you'd uppercut somebody sometimes. Yeah. If they don't have a Toasty, they don't have that in the movie, then I'm gonna be pissed.
Yeah, I believe that happened when you uppercutted someone as like a counterattack, right? It was when you'd get Toasty, and then what happened if you entered the code when he would pop up, you'd go fight. Who was that?
Oh yeah,
the guy in the
like
mirror
Noob Saibot or like
or something. Yeah,
Smoke or something. Yeah,
I don't know. God, I'm trying to remember back that far now. It's crazy, but
too many dead brain cells, guys.
I don't know. Brain cells. We might have to go watch that Mortal Kombat movie, Nick. Get with me after the show.
Yeah.
Okay, big news, Chiefs news. We'll stop talking about video game movies. George Karlaftis.
Furious George
follows suit right after Trey Smith got his record deal. George Karlaftis didn't get a record deal, but he's still got a lot of money, man. Almost $100 million for George Karlaftis. Bo, are you happy to see the extension? Do you think the Chiefs should have waited? Is that too much? Is it about right? What do you think?
You know, as far as the timing of it all, I think it's great that they got it done early, right? This way we can bang out not better contracts, more important contracts like Trent McDuffie's. There's a lot of important ones waiting in the wings that we really need to hammer out, that we need to figure out long-term deals with. And yeah, McDuffie's one that comes to mind. But no, super stoked about this contract. I think it's a great price for what it is. Especially with like the salary cap getting bigger and bigger. I mean, he got paid, let's not get it wrong, I think he's like the 10th highest paid defensive lineman now. So hats off to him. Or edge line. So I mean, great for him getting that, but like I think it's one of those scenarios. It's a win-win for both the Chiefs office and George Karlaftis, right? Like he's getting paid at a great price that's going to ultimately work out for the Chiefs in the long run, being able to like bring in edge rushers and bigger names in the long run, being able to save some money. So I'm a big fan of the contracts. I'm a big fan of the guy. I think he's a great player. Brings a lot. Some people I've seen argue online that he is really dependent on people like Chris Jones and Omenihu to get his production. But I've seen him year after year just become that much better, that much faster, that much quicker, understands game that much better. And I think this year he's going to be a phenom. So yeah, super stoked about that.
Nick, how do you feel about the George Karlaftis contract?
I think it's great timing. The best time to sign somebody in the NFL is right now, because next week, next month, next year, it's just going to cost you more, right? So, I mean, think about how ridiculous the Patrick Mahomes contract seemed when we're like, well, they have him listed at $59 million that 1 year. That's
half of.
Well, they're going to have to restructure that, and it's like, I mean, that's like average per year now on some of these quarterback contracts, right? So, I think that it's well timed. They got him taken care of, and I think he's a great player. I think that he's a player that he's made some really well timed plays, and on top of that, dude, like the guy never takes plays off and he never stops during plays. Like you see the guy, he's just always trying to get to the ball. He's trying to get to the quarterback. He's trying to get to the runner. I couldn't be happier with the signing, man. I just think that he exemplifies exactly what we need on the team. And if he gets opportunities opened up by other players on his team, like, I mean, he takes advantage of them. So I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
So
it's a team game,
right? It's not like we got other guys that are getting 10 sacks right from that position. I mean, like we saw FAU come in and he didn't have that kind of productivity. So I don't know. I'm a fan, and congratulations, man. It's a well-earned contract there.
Yeah. Seems like the common theme that you heard when the Chiefs staff and front office and players were asked about George Karlaftis, like they all said the same thing. The guy is available and healthy. And like you said, Nick, like you can count on him to be there, and he's giving it 110% all the time. So, I mean, I like the deal. It's a little expensive, but I mean, for this week, right, until some other guy signs, like you mentioned, a contract. I used to be more of a fan of these type deals, signing a guy early for maybe a little less money, right? Max Crosby got over $100 million. Some of these premier guys, and it used to be kind of like the thought was like, well, if you sign guys early, then you lock them in, and instead of waiting like the Justin Houston deal. Remember when they waited, and then had to give him a ton of money,
right?
Eric Berry,
but now guys, if they sign a deal that's like that is viewed as team friendly, or if they overproduce or outperform, then they just sit out and start demanding more money later anyway. So I don't know. Like I feel like some of the value is kind of lost in signing guys early and trying to get that value. You always run the risk of maybe he doesn't get any better, or maybe he falls off at his age. I don't think there's really a big concern for that. So
it was like 26.
Yeah, he's still young, so no real concerns there. I myself personally, I would have liked to have seen Trent McDuffie get a deal first. I think he's going to be considerably more expensive though, right? And there's going to be a lot more guaranteed money and more dollars there. So I can see why the George Karlaftis deal got done first, but yeah, man, happy for the dude. Great teammate too. You hear that from the guys; they all love him. Chris Jones was kind of like blowing up his interview there at training camp. So start calling him G Money. That's big money, George, right? You could tell other guys and his teammates are happy and to see him get paid. So, what do you think you see, Bo, out of Karlaftis this next year or two? Do you think he can? He's been that guy that kind of hovers right around 10 sacks a year. I mean, can you see him maybe stepping up and getting 13, 14, 15 maybe sacks or more, maybe taking that jump?
Yeah, definitely. I can see him taking more of like a leadership role this year, even being like the veteran now, kind of in that line. And Chris Jones is on his back nine, looking on his way out, and like they're actually kind of buddy. If you guys watch The Kingdom and stuff, for being such a fucking animal, George Karlaftis is like the nicest, like easygoing guy like I've ever seen on like a football team's film when they're like at practice and stuff. But like as far as what we're gonna see from him this year, yeah, like I said, year after year, I've just seen him get a little bit better each time. I remember his first year, I was just like, it just seems like he's just a half step off. He's like right there. Then the following year, that much better. You're mentioning 10 sacks. I can see him doing that or better. Him and Chris Jones both kind of mentioned that they were kind of disappointed in themselves for not getting more sacks, that they felt like it fell off last year, and it kind of did compared to the year before that. So I think they're both kind of determined to really get to the quarterback. So I think we see a big uptick in QB pressures, and that guy's just an animal at batting balls down. So, I mean, I don't see that going away by any means. I think he has teens average of batted down passes every year. Yeah. So I think that'll continue too.
There's definitely more to defensive line and edge than just sacks. That's kind of the number a lot of people focus on, but that's a good point. Nick, do you think George Karlaftis maybe takes that step up from very good, maybe just above average defensive edge to one of these top tier, maybe like a guy that can get in those mid-teens, high teens and sacks?
Yeah, look, I think his best football is in front of him. I think that there's kind of two mentalities, right? There's guys that get paid and then they're like, I got paid, now I can I can take a breather, right?
That contract year's behind me.
Oh man. And then there's guys that, Saquon Barkley comes to mind where he's like, I couldn't play as free because I was worried about maybe getting hurt, right? I couldn't do certain things, wouldn't take certain risks. I think Karlaftis is more like in that second boat, right? Where he's like, he's going to be, going all out now, and he's going to want to prove that he's worth the money, right? Seems like a man of character, and that's what typically men of character do. So I think his best football's in front of him. Is he going to be, putting up like TJ Watt numbers? I don't think so, right? But I do see, him having like a market increase over the next couple of years, and and one of the other things, like you brought it up, Bo, is like the leadership, right? And maybe playing more of the game with your mind, right? And being able to do things and maybe direct traffic, help some of the younger guys get, opportunities, right? It's a team game. So I think you're going to see the best year of his career, in the next couple of years here. So,
yeah, I could definitely see him increase in there and get maybe 3 or 4 or 5 more sacks. The other thing that was kind of surprised me too is you saw them. They didn't spend like a first-round pick, but Ashton Gelati's an edge player. When the Chiefs drafted that guy, I kind of thought, okay, George Karlaftis has been a good, solid player, but he has not been an elite-level pass rusher. Maybe they were looking at, we'll bring this Gelati guy in from Louisville, see what he does next year or two. Maybe you don't have to pay George Karlaftis, but you can never have too many good defensive linemen. So Chiefs felt good paying him. They seem like they know what they're doing. He could be maybe a mentor, a guy that could teach a young guy, something like that. You were talking about both the leadership. So happy with the deal, man. And Nick, if he jumps up to the TJ Watt level production, he's going to be tearing that contract up and getting a new one anyway.
He's going to be in the stands with his agents in the first game of the season.
Right. There's a comment there. I can't see the name on it, but it says the longer you wait, the more you pay. That's kind of the point I was getting at. It used to be like that, but nowadays when you pay a guy early and then they, like I said, they overperform or outperform the contract, they just start demanding more money and
well, over under
George 12, would do that anyway, but
over under 12.5 sacks. What are you picking?
Ooh. I'll take. I'd take the under. I'd be stoked with 12.
Yeah,
I mean, I'd be stoked if he got 10 again, right? Like that's
career
not
high
a slouch
10.5,
season.
I think. Yeah, so
That's not a slouch season. You know what I mean? Like that's still really productive. You're getting in there, and like if he's still batting balls down, like I'd take 12. I'd take the under on 12.5. What about you, Scott?
Right. I'll take the over and say he gets 13. Nick,
Nice.
Yeah, I'd go under. I think you're right, Bo. I think 12 would be a number I'd feel comfortable with.
and hey, man, if you can like pencil that dude in for 12 or 13 sacks a year for the next 3 or 4 or 5 years, I mean that's a good deal. That's a fair contract.
That's all you would need.
And I mean that's it, for I don't know like whatever like for whatever reason like that doesn't. And maybe it's the TJ Watt effect, or it's some of these guys, Justin Houston, these guys that get 18, 19, 20, 22. But, I mean, 10 or 12 sacks in a season is still really good, man. There's not too many people out there getting double-digit sacks a year anymore. So, congrats to George Karlaftis. He's going to be in the kingdom for a while. We made the comment on our X account. If you're not following us on social media, check us out there at Chiefs Kingdom Live on X and the Facebook and the Instagram.
What's up, sir?
With all these contract extensions, the Chiefs are making it more difficult and expensive to keep up with the jersey collection, man. Like,
and then adding players like Royals with cool names,
adding guys with cool names. So, but I will say, man, Chiefs shop, and man, they need to step their game up on their jersey selection. They got way too many of these game screen printed jerseys that fall apart, man. And the numbers start like they got rid of the stitch numbers Nike did, which was a bad move. They've got the twill. They still call it the Vapor, the limited jerseys. But, like, I went to the Chiefs team store, and I was looking online, and the only ones they have are, like, Travis and Patrick. I think they had Pacheco and maybe
95.
Bolton. But no McDuffie, no George Clark. I remember the good old days when you used to go to the pro shop, especially at the team store, man, and they had the jerseys, the good ones, for, like, every player on the team. I don't know, but if anybody from the Chiefs is listening, man, get some more of those upper shelf, those better quality jerseys.
There is some demand
available for sale. There's, man, all they had you got Nick Bolton, Bo. I almost just picked one up for you, man. I almost was like, I'm just gonna get Bo.
But he didn't.
Do it next time. I'll pay you back.
All right, there you go.
Like,
Don't hesitate next time. Get it.
Right.
I almost wore his jersey today instead because he got
go.
his extension, but we already kind of talked about that a few weeks ago. So,
Bozo got a surprise here later in the show for everybody. So make sure you watch till the end or close to the end. The other big story, Chiefs Kingdom this week, was Rashee Rice, the criminal side of his situation he had where they had the accident and hit and run, whatever you want to call it, 2-3 years ago now. He gets sentenced to 5 years probation, 30 days in jail. He can serve the 30 days at any point during the 5 years probation, so don't expect him to, like, unless he does it during the suspension, like, I don't think the jail time's going to cause him to miss any time with the team. The league had previously said they were waiting for the criminal stuff to get wrapped up before they made a determination if and how long of a suspension he would receive. I mean, he manned up, right? He pled guilty. He owned up, took ownership. He's paid over 6 figures in restitution. He's got the civil lawsuits that are going to cost him a lot more money than that. But he said, I apologize. I did something careless and reckless and stupid, and he's going to face the music. It's a pretty serious thing that happened. I mean, thank God nobody was injured worse or obviously, died. The Henry Ruggs situation comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
Guy's still.
I mean, what kind of suspension do you think Rashee Rice is looking at? I've heard people online say as few as they think maybe 2 or 3 games. I've heard people say 8 or 10 games. Nick, how many games suspension do you think the league throws at Rashee Rice? What do you expect to see him get?
I mean, I think he's going to get 8 to 9 games. I think half a season feels right. We talked about this a little bit. Like, I just can't see them giving him less time in suspension game wise than like he got jail time, right?
Right. Yeah.
Like 4 weeks would be like 28 days, right?
Yeah, it'd be 4 games.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, so 4 games would be like 28 days, 30 days. Like they're not gonna You know, I just don't see that happening. I could be wrong.
Over 5 years.
Anybody
Yeah.
saying less than 4 games that's wishful thinking, right? That's them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's
hoping their
super
guy-
optimistic.
That's super
I would say
optimistic.
8. I mean, look, you know, Willie, like Scott, you brought it up, like Willie Gay and the vacuum cleaner deal, right? Like he got 4 games over breaking a vacuum cleaner. Like, you know,
Yeah.
something this serious. I feel like it's going to be, you know,
Right.
more than that. So I mean, I'm going to say 8.
Bo, how many games is Rashid Rice going to miss?
Yeah, you know, it's hard to say. The NFL and their
You're right.
body, their governing body is so inconsistent when it comes to doling out penalties for player punishment, right? We've, like Nick was saying, like you've seen weird instances where players break their own property and get suspended for a lot of games, and you see players physically assault other people and get suspended for little games, or a few games. So it's so hard to say, man. Like I'm with Nick. I think it's going to be more than 4, more than 2, definitely. I'm on the 6 to 8 wagon myself, thinking more like 8 probably. I'd be stoked if it's 4 to 6, anywhere in there, you know, get him back earlier, but I just don't see that happening. It's easy to kind of put it out of mind what he did now, but that was pretty wild, you know, and hats off to him. You know, I'm not trying to downplay what he did because it was super serious and there's a million hypotheticals that could have happened, but fortunately nothing did happen. He just kind of wrecked his cars, you know, and fled. So, I mean, give that for what it is. But since then, you know, he's been able to keep his head down, stay out of the news, stay out of trouble. And so, like, I wouldn't be surprised if they'd give him 4 games, but I'm leaning more towards 6. So,
yeah, it's you nailed it, man. I mean, it seems like whenever I think a player's commit a serious offense, right, he's gonna get a bunch of games. They don't, and then you see a guy get a suspension, and you kind of scratch your head. They got that many games for that. You know, the Willie Gay thing was like a domestic violence thing. He didn't get charged with like hitting anybody, but maybe there was more details to that didn't come out. I mean, losing your temper with a wife or girlfriend and breaking stuff. I mean, I don't want that to come off as like not a big deal, right? Obviously, it is serious, but I think it's an 8-game suspension. But knowing the NFL, for whatever reason, I think it's gonna be 6. I'm with Laney. I think Laney said 6 in there. I'll be very surprised if it's 4. And if it's 4 or less, you know, the haters and the Bills fans and all these other people online.
Get ready for
know,
the script writer, right?
That's why I could see it being 4 games, just because we're in that new era, and like as much as like I keep thinking it's that like Tom Brady had all that favoritism, like maybe we do get that favoritism. Right. No, I'm not thinking that, but I'm just saying, like if we got the 4 games, I think that would be the talk of the internet for sure.
Right. Kevin's bringing up the situations there with Kareem Hunt and Deshaun Watson, guys that.
Those are good. That's good juxtaposition.
Were accused. I'm not saying I know they're innocent or not. Never found guilty in a court of law. Never pled guilty, as far as I know. Deshaun Watson never admitted to any of the things that happened. There's obviously video of Kareem Hunt doing what he did, so there was no argument there as whether or not he was guilty of what he was accused of. But yeah, I mean, I think if those guys are getting 8 or 11 games, I think 8 games is probably likely, but it's the NFL, so I'm going to go with 6. How much does that hurt the team, Nick? We've talked about it's a front-loaded schedule, right? The first 9 weeks is the harder half of the season. How big of a loss is that for the Chiefs if they come out and say, yeah, we'll see you week 9, Rasheed?
Well, I mean, it hasn't happened yet. You got to assume it will, but we don't know. But yeah, look, it's. Do you think it's worth like an entire game? I mean, they went 15-2 last year, right? With them being gone for 14, was it 15 of those games? No, 14 of the games, right?
Yeah.
Got injured in the 3rd game.
I think it was week 4. He got hurt halfway through. He played like 3.5 games, I want to say.
Yeah. So
that's splitting hairs.
Right. So, I mean, is it worth a whole game in the, with him out?
Yeah, I think a big part of it is going to be can Hollywood Brown stay healthy? during that stretch.
Right.
If you're looking at the Chiefs out there and they've got the rookie Royals, you could lean on Kelsey. As always, they're old reliable, right? TMFK. I think if you've got Hollywood Brown and Xavier Worthy in year 2, with the way Xavier Worthy started to really kind of blow up at the end of last year and going into the postseason, I think you can weather it a lot better. That to me is going to be critical. If you find yourself in another situation where Hollywood Brown gets hurt and he misses 4 games or 5 games, and you've got Rashee Rice out for 4, now you're leaning on Xavier Worthy, right? Pretty heavily. So, yeah, I think that 1 game range is in there. I mean, I think if he's there for all 8 games or 6 games or whatever it is, you think if the Chiefs would be at 7-2, maybe they're at 6-3 instead. I think they're going to be 7-2. Myself personally, right now, after those first 8 games. Bo, we're just talking about the impact of Rashee Rice and the suspension. How well is this team prepared and equipped to kind of weather that? And we talked about it too when we did the schedule release, and it's always tricky. Like, because some teams are better than they were the year before, and some teams you think are going to be good aren't as good as they were the year before. But it's a front-loaded schedule for the Chiefs this year. What do you think the impact is? How big of a loss is that?
It's hard to say talent-wise because the wide receiver room right now is so stacked. Like, we're talking about, the emergence of Jalen Royals. We still have Juju. There's Nico Remigio. There's a lot that, it's a really deep wide receiver room. So I don't think talent-wise we're going to struggle too much. I think just emotionally and the morality of it's going to just kind of really deflate the team, because all the news coming out of training camp and even all the coaches talking at the press conferences is just how electric Rashee Rice is in this. You know what I mean? He's back on pace. And it just changes the offense. And then you look at your starting lineup and you're just like, holy shit, with Rashee Rice, this is lethal, right? And so I think when you take that element away, the morality is just gonna be oh God, just again, the injuries last year, the drops before that. It's just why can we just get a year where we have a good, good roll of the dice, So I think we'll be okay in the long run. It'll just be a rough start. Like I heard you saying something about the record. Yeah, maybe we lose an extra game or something. Maybe if it's like last year, we have 10 games that we win by a score or less. Maybe we lose a couple of those games more than we win them without him. But we did it without him last year, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I think. I can't tell if Laney's trolling us or if someone needs to do a wellness check on Laney. Talk about bringing back MVS. No thanks.
Wait till week 7. We might.
I think we're fine.
You never know.
I think we're good there. He couldn't catch on with the Bills. Well, sure. So, yeah, I don't know. I get what you're saying about having some good quality guys there, but Remigio, he's been a guy that is a cult hero, fan favorite, Chiefs Kingdom.
Yeah,
he's never been able to establish himself as one of the guys, right? We were just talking a second ago while you're off screen. I don't know if you could hear what we were saying, but they're a Hollywood Brown injury away from being back in the same boat they were in last year.
Exactly.
Xavier Worthy. So, as long as those other guys can say, as long as you don't lose another guy, I don't think the Rashee Rice suspension hurts you too bad. But if you lose another guy, I think that exponentially raises the loss of Rashee Rice. So
sure. All things considered, if we can stay healthy, I think talent-wise we'll be okay. We pulled it off last year, right? And luckily we're not losing him to injury, so he is coming back at some point and fully healthy. So I think it's a little bit different, but yeah, I get what you're saying for sure.
Yeah, it's gonna be an opportunity. We've been talking about Royals. John C. just brought him up down there. Tyquan Thornton is a young guy the Chiefs are excited about that brings some speed.
Making catches.
It's going to be an opportunity for another guy to get some plays, right? Get some field time that probably wouldn't gotten before. Can somebody step up and take those reins and make the most of that situation and solidify themselves on the team? It's going to be interesting to see, but a lot of training camp to go, a lot of preseason to go before we get to week 1. So I think we're all in that 6 to 8 game suspension range. wouldn't be. I mean, the only
You
thing to
brought
me
up,
like would be shocking is if it was like 2 games to me.
right.
4
Yeah,
games would be
yeah.
surprising, but not that surprising. It's the NFL. 2 games to me, yeah. I think if you're that, I mean, you ain't being honest with yourself. If you're honestly, you know what I mean? If you're saying 2 games, man, I don't think that's going to happen. So, I don't know. Be interesting to see.
But I like your question though, because like, dude, I was just thinking, the past 2 years we've had to rely on a rookie receiver to be
Sure,
our main
yeah.
productive guy, right? And if, like you said, if
At least for the
everybody can
second half
stay
of the year,
healthy,
yeah.
if we can stay healthy, we'll have some quote unquote veterans finally. You know what I mean? And if we have this whole crew at like week 4, week 5, whew, look out! I think
Stay in
this
shape.
team might be better than past 2 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. Stay in shape, Justin Ross. You never know. The Chiefs might be
Right.
calling you week 2 if you don't latch on to another team. Still, that still is like perplexing to me. Not that I thought he was going to be like a Chiefs Hall of Famer or anything like that, but the talent when he was in Clemson, man, before he had that injury was just undeniable. And he would come in training camp and look like an all-pro player, making insane plays, right? Not like, oh, he had a good highlight here or there. I mean, the guy was the star, right, of training camp. Never materialized. There's obviously more to his story than we know about.
Yeah.
But we talked
I'd like
about that a
behind the
couple weeks
music
ago.
on that one.
Right, right. We talked about it a couple weeks ago when Bo was, I believe Bo was out of town celebrating the big 4-0.
That's been a thing recently.
Happy
being out of town.
belated, by the way. I don't think
Cheers.
I've talked to you since then. So, training camp is underway. The guys are out there in St. Joe, looking good. Speaking of Xavier Worthy, they made a huge, like it was like the very first play of the first practice. I want to say was a bomb to Xavier Worthy down the sideline. Some of these young guys, not to get in Justin Ross overhype mode here, but some of these younger players are popping. I think probably the biggest storyline so far early in training camp, Josh Simmons, the number 1 draft pick, the left tackle out of Ohio State. Obviously slid in the draft because of the injury issue he suffered his last year there in college. Coaches were saying, Andy was saying that he was going to be ready for training camp, and there were some people that were saying, I don't think that's wishful thinking or that's coach speak or whatnot. That's a injury that you don't come back from that quickly. He's getting run out there with the ones, and he's participating in camp. Bo, how good of a sign is that, man, that dude is out there ready to go day 1, day 2, getting in the mix with the ones.
Awesome, man. It's such a great sign, right? I've been a fan of this pick. I can't believe he slid to us first. I mean, I understand injury concern, right? But with
especially if he's
modern,
gonna be ready for training camp, man. Like,
yeah, exactly. With modern medicine and everything, you would think that, injuries today aren't what they were 15, 20 years ago. You know what I mean? Like there's a little bit more optimism to when somebody does that. And he could be one of those freaks of natures where he just comes back and is unaffected. But I mean, I'm still cautious a little bit, but all the video I've seen, the dude looks like an absolute unit, dude. Like, I mean, he's just hitting pads. I mean, take it for what it is. They're just hitting pads and somebody's holding it. But dude, everybody hits the pads, right? And they're not pushing the guy holding the pad back 2 feet. You know what I mean? Those guys take it, and this guy's just going to town, looking stellar. And then, yeah, he's out there. And, well, I mean, Jawan Taylor being on the PUP list really, really helps that situation, right? And which is, I'm really curious now, right, with that move happening, with I mean, for those that don't know, I kind of glanced over. Jawan Taylor's on the PUP list with a supposed knee injury. It's not looking like it's too serious, more cautionary than anything, right? But because he's not participating in training camp for these first 2 days, just Simmons has been the starter and first team, getting all the reps on first team, right? And they moved Jalen Moore over to right tackle, and he's been playing right tackle, right? And so if that's kind of the look they're going, my concern right now is having a rookie left tackle and then essentially a rookie in your guard position on the left side too, right? Like it's going to be not rookie, but it's what, Caliento or Sumatia, right?
Yeah.
So both of which haven't been like super tested, and there's not a lot of film on them, so it's like just a big question mark for me. But back to Josh Simmons, dude looks like a beast. I think he's going to be ready to go day 1 if it plays out this way.
Yeah, if everything goes right, Nick. Josh Simmons, I know when he was drafted, we talked about whether or not he'd be ready for the season or whether or not he'd be ready for training camp. I think you kind of thought the Chiefs were, I don't want to say being overly optimistic, but I think you were kind of in the camp of they're saying he's going to be ready for training camp, but we'll see, right? I mean, are you surprised he's out there just going at it?
Yeah, I mean, just put another one in the Nick was wrong column. I know why you're bringing it up, dude. Yeah,
no,
you're pretty adamant he wasn't going to be. Yeah, no, just adding. Yeah, okay, all right, thanks, Bill. Look, I'm surprised. I mean, for a few reasons. One, I just, if you're investing this kind of capital and you're thinking this is the future, like, I mean, I guess they're trusting the doctors, right? Like they trust the process, and the doctors say he's good to go. He's good to go. I'm sure that's what Andy, is saying, is like, well, I mean, doctor said he's, at no risk, right? So the other thing is, like, if he was going to be ready for training camp, like we just said, like, how did he end up sliding to the Chiefs? It's like he went from top 10 to second to last in the round because of that. So
that many teams misread the medicals in this situation,
right? It's at least 20 plus teams, right?
Yeah. So in that case, like, I mean, look, bank error in your favor is always good. I want him to play and I want him to be good. I am surprised though. I'm surprised that he's ready to play. There's a significant injury. And again, it's just such a position of need for the Chiefs that. And I know that this is like long-term value pick, right? Like you don't take this with your first round pick unless you're like, all right, this is the guy that gets us, till Mahomes is like 35 or, even older, maybe, if he gets that second contract and they break him off, it'll be like 30 million or 40 million a year by that time for a left tackle. But yeah, dude, it's good news. It's great news. You want to see your first round draft pick out there looking good, looking strong, looking like he's ready to just be a starter day one and really protect that blind side, dude. I mean, it's like the biggest area of need on the team. So all the more people we have out there, the better. So
yeah, and it's maybe like you had the opportunity to even be more careful and more cautious with them. With you brought in Jalen Moore and you're paying him big money to come in and play left tackle. I know we got into some kind of healthy discussions. I don't want to say arguments or debates or fights on X about this, but I mean, paying Jalen Moore $21 million this year to be a backup, and that's a lot of money.
Expensive backup.
It's an expensive backup. Listen, I understand that the two players are going to cost you the same amount of money regardless of who starts, right?
Yeah.
I've thought that for a long time, but teams don't pay guys that kind of money to come in usually and be the backup. The other thing too, to me,
maybe he'll be right tackle. You could go conspiracy theory and be like, well, they're like, hey,
or
your
guard
knee doesn't feel good,
right? And
what I mean?
Right, they're zigging and when everyone thinks they're zagging or whatever. But yeah, Jalen Moore to me too he was a guy that was stuck behind Trent Williams in San Francisco. He came in here, it was on a 2-year, to me, prove it deal.
Yeah,
he's coming here to prove that he can be a starting left tackle and get paid. How happy is he that they might be bumping him out to right tackle? Right? I mean, I'm not saying that he's been a problem. I'm not trying to suggest I know that he's unhappy with it. But, I mean, if you're that dude, you got to be thinking, I'm going to go to the Chiefs on a 2-year prove it deal. And then they draft this guy. And, I mean, the best man win, right? If you are a starting left tackle in the NFL, you go out with the mindset you're going to win the position and prove it anyway. But if that guy to come in and then just kind of get booted out to right tackle, man, that's going to be surprising too, right? Joshua Simmons is going to have to overcome the injury and the rehab, and he's going to have to overcome a guy that is on a big dollar amount for this year and came here to kind of play that position. If he wins the job, he's going to have really won it, right, Bo?
Oh yeah, definitely. And are we thinking like? I'm thinking right tackle is a little bit easier than left tackle for the blind side of Mahomes, right? Like I mean,
sure.
These guys, they've played, 5 or 6 positions in their professional year or in their college careers.
Right.
They're used to like kind of moving around the line a little bit. So I think shifting around doesn't really bother them too much unless they have like a really specific preference. Like, no, man, left tackle is my shit, or left guard is mine. You know what I mean?
But that's kind of how we got Orlando Brown, right? Because the Ravens were wanting him to play right tackle, and he's like, no, I'm a left tackle. And there's a huge pay difference between left tackle and right tackle. That's kind of what I was saying. Not that Jalen Moore can't go out and play right tackle. If you can play left tackle, you should probably be able to play right tackle, right? But, I mean, if I'm that guy, I might be a little irritated if I come in here on a 2-year prove-it deal, and now I'm stuck behind somebody else, right, on the depth chart at left tackle or not getting to play left tackle. Nick, I mean, Josh Simmons has got a couple obstacles to overcome, right, to get to that starting left tackle position.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. And, you know, look, if you took the contract, you got the money, like, you know, I understand that you could be upset, but they're still paying you. So, you know, you got to figure that out. But yeah,
I think he came here, he was trying to parlay that into like a extension and big money with the Chiefs or another team, right?
Or another team. Yeah, look, the whole situation seems like there's something that we don't understand about how everything happened. That's all. You know what I mean?
Completely.
Like, it just, sometimes the pieces just don't seem to add up. It's like we were saying with Justin Ross, right? I just feel like there's something behind the scenes there that we don't know about. And maybe, you know, Juwan Taylor, you know, maybe you're going to see he's making $20 million a year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, or more.
Yeah, so like
it's like 20 or 23 or something.
This is the last
I don't know, man. Yeah, it's the last year of his deal. Maybe they're done with that guy too, and they're like, well,
that was a major overpay though for a right tackle by the Chiefs.
So I feel like I don't like have all the pieces to this puzzle to understand exactly what happened there, because it just, for me, it just doesn't seem to make sense, unless the Chiefs just totally miscalculated how soon Simmons was going to be ready. So
yeah, or they just didn't expect to get him, right?
Yeah, maybe they didn't expect to get him.
And again, not trying to suggest that I know that Jalen Moore is going to be a problem or that he won't go play at right tackle, but I got to believe that guy was under the assumption or was expecting to come in and get a chance to prove that he can be left tackle, which he still can. If he comes in and outplays Simmons and he's got the bigger dollar amount for the year, he's going to be the left tackle. So that's not.
Yeah. I think whoever's going to do the best job is going to get the job, right?
Right.
But like I've seen one interview with him, and like he doesn't seem like he has like that big ego, or he's like, no, left tackle or I'm out, dog. Right? Like that's all it is. I think he has this opportunity right now with why did these three guys, with Juwan Taylor being on the PUP list, he has the opportunity right now to prove himself at a full training camp, right, and a whole preseason, right? And like Chiefs haven't disclosed the extent of Taylor's knee injury, so I mean, it could be a week, could be a month, you know, it could be, who knows how serious it is, but like this is his opportunity to step up right there in that. And I think, dude, if you're a lineman and you come over to this team, I think you're just happy to get the opportunity to like go out there and play and be on that first team, getting all the starting reps, like regardless of the position.
Right. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun battle to watch in camp, no doubt.
Hey guys, I'm gonna have to drop here in like 10 minutes.
Yeah,
I got a work thing.
No, you're all right.
Don't work with people on the other side of the earth. It's the time zones make things extremely difficult.
Right. Well, I mean, we're almost at an hour here. We're 45 minutes in. We can get to the poll before you jump out because I want to get your thoughts on this. Some NFL, somewhat Chiefs-related news. Tyrann Mathieu, former Chiefs safety,
Honey Badger,
the Honey Badger, hanging it up. I was a little surprised he announced it like the day before training camp was supposed to start.
Right. Yeah.
But he's hanging it up. He's done. He's retiring. A very good player, a guy that came to the Chiefs and was, you know, I'll say like an integral part of getting the dynasty kick started and getting that first Super Bowl championship, that first win. What's his legacy? If you're not following us on social media, if you're following us on X, this week's poll is, there's a lot of talk about like, what is Tyrann Mathieu? Is he a NFL Hall of Fame player? Is he a Chiefs Hall of Fame player? Is he both? Is he neither? It's a pretty interesting debate when you look at his numbers, and he's made like some all-decade teams.
He's a journeyman for sure.
Right. He had 3 or 4 all-pro first or second team seasons there, made some Pro Bowls. but I think he's in that like tier down, like from when people would talk about like an Ed Reed or someone like that as safety. So we wanted to see what you all thought out there. Tyrann Mathieu, does he make the NFL Hall of Fame, the Chiefs Hall of Fame, both or neither?
Laney
Nick?
seems to think both.
What are your thoughts before you got to jump out of here? Tyrann Mathieu and just
I mean,
his legacy with the Chiefs.
You can see the check mark. I mean, and I don't mean it as like disrespect, right? I don't think he look. So whether he'll make the Hall of Fame, to be honest, I don't have enough of a grasp of his overall career statistics to make that determination. The Chiefs Hall of Fame, he was an integral part of getting that.
He's borderline.
Yeah, like I just think it's longevity with the team, right? Like I don't think he was with the Chiefs maybe quite long enough, and maybe that's not fair, but I just feel like, you know, like when you talk Ring of Honor guys, like if he, with the amount of years he played, like unless he had like some just marquee plays that were like game changing, game sealing postseason victories, like think about like a guy was with the team similar amount of years, like Frank Clark, right? Like to me, like it's like, okay, like I can name plays like Frank Clark made to close out the Super Bowl, right? To close out the AFC championship. Like you look at the amount of sacks that he had in the postseason, and maybe it's unfair to Honey Badger because part of his job is to be invisible on the field, right? Like when safety like is like doing their job, sometimes like you don't realize they're on the field because the ball doesn't go their way. So I don't know. I think it's like a longevity thing, but I pick neither on this one.
When it comes to the Chiefs Hall of, it is extremely difficult to get voted into the NFL Hall of Fame. Obviously, that's not hard hitting deep analysis by me. I'm kind of stating the obvious there, but do you think with the way his career kind of came to an end in Kansas City and the social media stuff with the fans, and there was a lot of people question whether or not he was making business decisions out there. I don't want to say he had a like rocky or bad exit out of Chiefs Kingdom, but it was not as rosy, I think, as maybe as it could have been. I mean, is that factoring into your decision or your thinking on whether or not he makes it particularly into the Chiefs Hall of Fame? Does that factor in?
No, not particularly. Look, I look at how long were you with the team? Like, what was your contribution? And again, like when I think about Ring of Honor guys, I just like, there's these moments, right, that come to mind. Like there's a picture in my mind that I'm like, that I think of, when I think of Ring of Honor guys. And I don't have that,
or like a career chief, right?
Or like a career achievement, right? Yeah. Like you know, I mean, I don't necessarily have like a Tim Grunard, you know, like moment that sticks out, but like he was like a staple of Chiefs Kingdom all through my childhood. You know what I mean?
Right.
And he didn't even get inducted until just a few years ago. So, to me, that's what I'm thinking. I put all the social media stuff, right? Like it's like, you know, Honey Badger sometimes cared on social media. And look, I don't
tell you firsthand.
Yeah, right. And look, I don't necessarily negatively judge him too much about that. It would be tough to have people constantly talking shit about you online.
Sure.
So, but like I just those are the thoughts that I have, right, when it comes to Mathieu. I think like I love what he brought to the team. He did bring, you know, attitude, right, to the team. He helped turn the defense around when we, you know, fell short the year before. You know, but that's where it stops for me. I'm not putting him in the, you know, in the Chiefs Hall of Fame. And I just don't know. Like, I don't think it's like the Hall of Very Good, right? Like, and I don't think he was in the echelon of players that's like a Hall of Fame worthy for like overall career. You know, so I'm glad I'm not on Twitter anymore.
Right.
I mean, I'm still on Twitter, but you know, I'm not on there like a lot. So
right.
Not talking shit to Tyrann.
Yeah. Well, if you need to jump out, man, it was good talking to you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, good seeing you, sir.
Well, you guys enjoy the rest of the show, and I will catch you later.
We will
I'll
do
try to
that.
leave without ending the stream.
Yeah, let's try not to do that.
All right. Bye, guys. Bye, everybody.
Bo?
No, yeah, dude, I have
We're still here.
I
what
I
are your
almost
thoughts on Honey
echo.
Badger and Hall of Fames, man?
I almost echo Nick's thoughts exactly, right? I'm trying to think of like marquee plays that Honey Badger had, and like I'm wondering if his grind and like journeyman career is enough to get him into the NFL Hall of Fame. I'm still kind of I don't think he did enough for the Chiefs per se to really get into the Chiefs Ring of Honor. But then again, we were like 4 weeks ago we're debating if KC Wolf's going to get in there, right? And so this guy actually contributed to some of the success the Chiefs had. So
he had a pretty good hand in getting the team their first Super Bowl win in 50 years, man.
No, yeah, and like when Nick was like, I can't think of a marquee play, like what I'm thinking of is like I just remember like tons of pass breakups, shutting down people, you know what I mean? And like a lot of the stuff that doesn't get a lot of accolades necessarily when you shut down somebody. Like Trent McDuffie gets a lot of accolades for shutting down number ones, but
he's got a
Honey Badger was shutting down the middle and everybody.
Right, and he was an interesting player because he could play corner, he play safety, right? He was like a true secondary guy, right? I mean, he's got a pretty impressive number of interceptions and like forced fumbles for particularly for like a safety, pass breakups, but he's borderline. So I mean, what do you say?
Super Bowl year he had like 20 pass breakups, right?
Yeah,
so
I
if
mean,
like
he was
is that enough to get into the Ring of Honor on a Super Bowl winning year after the 50-year drought, right? Like maybe I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Like that's what I'm saying. Then you consider his career in the Texans and then going over to the Saints after the Chiefs, right? So you're just like,
he's from New Orleans. That was obviously like going home for him was a big deal. The Chiefs, to me, they just didn't want him back either, right? I mean, he kind of hung around, was available for a while, and the Chiefs went and moved on and got Justin Reed, and so then he went to New Orleans, but.
Right. Somebody we were talking about contracts earlier. Somebody was like, the longer you wait, the more you have to pay them, right? And I was like, well, we'll tell that to Chris Jones or tell that to Honey Badger, right? Because that did not happen to those guys.
Right. I mean, so what do you think? I mean, what are you voting in that poll? Are you one, both, neither?
I think if he gets one, he gets both. But I can agree with Nick and him not getting either. You know, just kind of like you said, it's not the hall of kind of good or grinding out seasons on different teams. It's those marquee players. So,
I think he'll make the NFL Hall of Fame. I think he's got that name brand to him, like that brand recognition, if that makes sense. The Honey Badger and the name, and he won a Super Bowl. He was on the All-Decade 2000s team. I mean, he made some All-Pros. I don't think he's a first ballot NFL Hall of Famer. But I think he makes an NFL Hall of Fame. Maybe it's dumb to say that he makes the NFL Hall of Fame and not the Chiefs Hall of Fame. But
I think if he makes the NFL, that would be a credit to him to be in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, right? That's what I think. If he gets one, he gets both.
It would definitely help. But to me, I just don't know that like he spent enough time here. And I think the thing that's gonna I think the thing that's gonna hurt his chances or keep him maybe out of the Chiefs Ring of Honors and Hall of Fame, they only do like maybe Casey Wolf.
Edged out by the Wolf. God damn it!
Like when you do the NFL Hall of Fame class, they vote in multiple people per year, right? The Chiefs do the one guy basically per season. I just feel like there's a lot of people in line ahead of him to get into the Chiefs
I was thinking the
Fame.
same thing. Yeah.
And so, was he a great player? Yes. Did he come help lead the team to their first Super Bowl championship in 50 years? Yes. But he's going to be stuck behind Patrick Mahomes. He's going to be stuck behind Travis Kelce. He's going to be stuck by, I think, like Joe Tooney, who came in here and was here for the whole dynasty. A lot of these dynasty guys that were here for the whole run are going to be ahead of him. And if you get 10 or 12 or 15 years down the road, I feel like maybe the memories and his impact on what he brought to Kansas City, I think maybe wanes a little bit, right? And I don't know. He was only here for 3 or 4 seasons too, so maybe
players
I think you're good. I think like circumstances, right? Other people getting in before him are going to keep him out more than like what he did for the team.
Yeah, because when Nick was talking about, I can't think of marquee plays for him. I was thinking like Dan Sorensen. Like I could immediately think 2 or 3 plays were like, yep, that play solidified that win in that game, and like that would be a player that was, not high up on the list like Mahomes or Kelsey, who are obviously getting in, you know what I mean? But like a player that's probably going to be ahead of Tyrann for sure.
Right.
So.
And I mean, if you look at Tyrann Mathieu's career, it's way better than Dan Sorensen's, right? I mean, I'm not going to try to say Dan Sorensen was as good, if not better player than Tyrann Mathieu, but he has more of those, like Nick was talking about, those marquee, memorable moments, and he was a career chief, and so I don't know that Dan Sorensen makes it in either. I really think it's just going to be, there's going to be a lot more people in line ahead of him and more deserving.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a plethora of players I'm completely forgetting about too.
Years down the road or something.
Yeah, exactly, right.
I mean, I think a Frank Clark has a chance to get in before him. Obviously, Chris Jones, Travis Kelce, Patrick Mahomes, those guys are going to get ahead of him. Patrick's going to play a long time past him, so maybe he's not in line in front of him. Maybe Tyrann Mathieu could get in before Patrick, right, is in there. But, yeah, I'm going to go he eventually makes the NFL Hall of Fame. I think he's got the fringe numbers to do it, but it's just like the Honey Badger and Tyrann Mathieu, and he's just like one of those well-known, famous, beloved guys that came through and is not one of these like unsung hero guys that has the numbers that nobody really remembers or knows who he was, or oh yeah, that guy.
I remember
everybody.
We weren't disappointed to get
Tyrann
him.
Mathieu was, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, we weren't disappointed to get him. The Saints weren't disappointed to get him after he was here, right? Like, yeah, he was one of those players you're like, okay, yeah, let's see where this goes.
Right, for sure. So, congrats to Tyrann Mathieu, the Honey Badger, on
hell of a career, man.
Hell of a career. Pretty cool too that he was able to go play for the Saints, his hometown, right?
What did he play, like 12 years, 13 years?
10, 12 years, I want to say. Someone could probably look
this
that
would have
up
been his
for us.
13th, or maybe
something like that. Yeah.
That's, I mean, dude, for a profession where like the average career is like 4 years or something, you make it past 10, like that's saying something, right?
Right. I mean, even if he doesn't make the Hall of Fame, there's probably not too many NFL players that wouldn't sign up for his career right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, give me Tyrann Mathieu. We'll give you guarantee his numbers, and you'll be a borderline Hall of Famer. I don't know too many people other than maybe like can't miss Andrew Luck type guys coming into the league that would turn down something like that. So, Laney wishing the Honey Badger. Man, the thing that gets me too, like when these NFL players retire, is these dudes are retiring at 34 years old with millions of dollars.
Like,
right,
I could do this.
I'm like 43, and I'm like, man, I sure hope I can retire before 65.
Do this one day. Yeah,
I could do this. These guys are retiring at their early to mid 30s with millions of dollars. Good for them. Definitely not hating on them, man.
No, it's sheer jealousy.
Go out and get what you can, man. Right? Yeah. No, definitely.
At least on this end.
So, how about? Do you think the social media stuff there towards the end, and kind of the way he was viewed as a guy was like I said, making business decisions, taking plays off, was worried about the contract that last year. I want to say he at one point, like said, man, this fan base is toxic, right? I mean, he was going at it
I remember that
with some people. Do you think that has any effect, any impact on his ability, whether or not he gets into the Chiefs Hall of Fame or no?
It might. If they're considering him to go on the Hall of Fame, like I would think they would also consider the fact that he was navigating new territory and like social media hadn't been around that long. He was a young kid in the middle of it, right? Yeah. And like it now they have, agents and advisors and stuff and PR people to tell you what to kind of do and take advantage of that kind of stuff. So, I think it could, man. I mean, it did leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth when he wasn't necessarily, he was shit talking to the fan base, not everybody, but there are some people online that are just trolls, right? And like, I get what he was trying to say, but like, it just didn't come off right and kind of offended way more people than it needed to. But
I don't think the team was happy about it.
No, I mean, I don't think everybody, like you said, it wasn't the rosiest of endings that we could have asked for, but seen worse, right? It wasn't
And
like
to
an
call
Antonio
out-
Brown
right.
situation by any means.
Right. And to paint like an entire fan base with that broad brush of being toxic because there's some trolls on X.
Yeah.
I think the
So I'm
most
saying, like, I get what he was saying, but like he
I
just
think the
said
most
it wrong.
I think the most surprising thing to me about that whole situation with Tyrann Mathieu and the social media or whatnot was everybody talked about what a like great leader he was and how like he brought a toughness and an attitude and leadership to the defense and to the Chiefs when they needed it. But like he was
Get
that
online
worried
and he
about
was
like
so
getting
sensitive.
online and couldn't like didn't have thick enough skin to ignore stuff like that online. That was always the most surprising thing
Yeah.
to me, man. Right? I mean, especially when you
Well,
got
dude,
the
I mean,
you got the persona. Honey Badger don't care. Nick mentioned it. Like the Honey Badger apparently did care. Sometimes
cared a lot.
it almost came off to me as like insecure or self-conscious, which is not something you expect from somebody who is a leader of men, right? And a guy that comes in with that attitude. It was just bizarre, I thought.
I feel like there's definitely an on-field and off-field mentality, right? And those guys see the
That's true.
on-field leader, and then he goes to his mansion and just reads
Right.
Twitter and responds to accounts that he probably shouldn't
Shut
be
the
even
fuck up,
responding to,
bitch.
right? Yeah, like, dude, did you see how many followers you have and how many I have? Like, why are you responding? But
Yeah.
anyway, like I said, I think he was a young kid caught up in social media before like those grounds were navigable or navigated, right? He just didn't really know how to handle it, and yeah, a lot of these guys are egotistical, especially when you give 20-year-olds millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
They get a little egotistical and they want to go online and see what everybody's saying about them. But
Right. You don't see Patrick Mahomes doing that though. You don't see Travis Kelce.
yeah, again,
out
came
there,
into the
like,
league a little later
getting
with some
back and forth.
advisors and having seen the repercussions of like getting
Yeah.
on social
I don't know,
media
when
and,
did-
and saying some shit.
Tyrann Mathieu came into the league. How long has social media been around? I feel like Twitter had been around long enough for him to know better, maybe at that point, but maybe not. I don't know.
Talking about somebody that
shit
gets hit
came
in the
around
head
what
for a
early
living.
to mid 2000s, and
You're all, yeah.
he would have been his third. So he came into the league in 2010s or 2011, right? He would have been drafted probably somewhere in there.
So I've been around like 5 years or so, 6
A few years, yeah,
maybe.
I get it. Being younger
Still
too
pretty
is
new.
definitely a big part of that. But I mean, God, I thought like he would have had an agent or somebody that would have been like, "Hey, man, like."
You would
shut
think
the hell
most
up.
of these guys do, like, hey man, you've had some drinks, let me drive for you. You know, like all
That's
these guys,
true.
like
Yeah,
oh, hey,
right,
maybe
yeah.
don't carry that gun. I'll
Yeah.
carry it for you. Like
Right,
they
sure.
don't have them. They don't have good friends, I guess.
Yeah, no, well, some of them don't come from the best backgrounds either. I don't know what Tyrann Mathieu's situation was
That's true.
growing up.
Who was it?
he
Was it
comes
Deion
from, I think he
Sanders
comes
is
from
like-
a rough background and neighborhood, right?
Man, where is he's from Louisiana?
Yeah, I think he's from like I want to say he's from like a rougher part of New Orleans.
I mean,
Not
that town gets rough real
we
quick.
need-
So
not
yeah,
that
I
we
could
need to,
believe
like,
most
dig too
parts.
much into his past. But yeah, again, for a guy that was supposedly this like fierce leader to get that worried about him, and it was like people were not even like tagging him. It was just like he was like searching out his name, or maybe it just scrolls across his screen. I don't know. Our man, one man show. So, yeah, he's from New Orleans. Guessing he probably came from a rougher part of town. We got someone auditioning to take Nick's spot there behind Bo, it looks like.
Our new dog Bear. He's a
Bear,
stray
what's up,
we
Bear?
picked up in Oklahoma.
Oh, okay.
Good boy. Yeah.
We're at in Oklahoma.
We were in Tulsa and like
Oh, okay.
late,
I got you.
like
That's right.
Like start of the winter, we had some like tornadoes come through. Obviously Oklahoma.
That's right. I
being there,
remember
but,
you. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
He just ended up on our patio furniture, and I put up flyers and put up a bunch of posts online and stuff. Nobody ever responded, so just took him in, got him vaccinated, and
Came
he's
along
awesome.
with you. There you
Yeah,
go.
Turned out to be a really awesome dog.
Good to see Bear showing up in the show. I don't know, Bo. Any topics you wanted to get to? Anybody in the chat got any questions? Anything we've missed? I feel like we've hit pretty much all of like the big talking points.
Right. I mean, I had some like random stuff, right? Like this is Andy Reid's 13th year as head coach in KC, and he's also the 13th coach for Kansas City, which is I thought like, oh, that's pretty cool. And then I was going to talk about just the coaches of the AFC West, but I wanted to also get Nick's opinion on that. So we can just wait till next week talk about how stacked our division is coaching wise. So
Yeah. I think a couple of those guys are overrated, but we can save that for next week.
sure.
It's all
no,
good.
yeah, it's a
We're-
great. That's why I want to talk about it.
We're at an hour in. We'll save that for Nick. So really appreciate everybody watching, tuning in, everybody here in the chat. Make sure you're following us on our social media accounts. We're still trying to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark where we're going to give away this autographed Isaiah Pacheco jersey. So if you haven't subscribed to us on YouTube, make sure you subscribe. Tell us friends, tell us family members, send them the link. We'd sure appreciate that.
I want to do a giveaway today. I'm just trying to think of like how to do it, how to like select a winner here.
That's up to you. This is your
give away an autographed jersey here. I don't know, some trivia. Have them post on our X.
How do I enter that contest?
Let's see. Let's think of a trivia question. Have them first person to post it on our X account. Let's see.
Are you gonna tell the folks what the prize is here, or is it gonna be mystery? That's how you got it, wasn't it?
It'll be an autographed mystery jersey. How about that?
Okay. All right. There we go.
Let's see. Let's find a fun fact about this individual. I don't know. You have any good ideas of how to give something away like this?
Maybe we could put something in there too, like if you're watching next week, you could answer the question or something. We could put it in here, and then we could pose it online or something, and then maybe someone comes in and watches. We see who gets the answer right next week. I don't know, man.
Let's do that. Because I'm not thinking of a great idea. Let's put it over this week, right? Maybe it'll be like part of your poll or something. We'll figure out a question over this week. Make sure you're following our X account. We'll post a trivia question at some time, and first person to get the right answer on there will win a jersey.
That's the answer. They have to put the answer in the show next week, right? We want to make sure we're getting
perfect. Yeah, we'll do that.
Watching. So, really appreciate everybody for watching again. Really looking forward to doing this season coming up. Really would love to get to that 1,000 subscriber mark again, so we can give away this Isaiah Pacheco jersey. We just got to 6,000 followers on X, so
nice.
Not following us there. Let's try to get that thing going here.
6,000. Wow.
It's under. It's.
I remember we were celebrating 1,000. Jeez.
Oh yeah. Time flies. This is what, the 4th year we've been doing the show.
Yeah.
Man, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but it's been a lot of fun, and I really do look forward to it every week. It was good to have you back, Bo. We missed you, man.
Glad to be back.
Looking forward to the shows and the season, and we'll be talking about preseason games here in a few weeks.
Dude,
I think the Hall of Fame game is like less than 2 weeks away. I want to say.
Yeah, I think so.
Right at 2.5 weeks or something.
Isn't the first week of August?
Something like that. Yeah, it's getting close. So. Make sure you're following us on our social medias so you can vote in the polls. Make sure you're subscribed for the giveaways. 2025 season is underway with the guys up in training camp. We'll be back next Wednesday, and until then, let's go Chiefs!
Let's go Chiefs!